Welcome back to the Take a Sip podcast. My name is Tito.
And I'm Leche.
And for this intro, obviously we're going to take our sips, but we got a little special guest. We've had Leche's sister here a couple of times and his brother. But now, just for this intro, we have my older sister.
Yep.
Hello.
This is Jessica. And she's just going to take a quick shot with us to celebrate episode 71?
71, yeah.
71 episodes.
Wow. That's a lot.
All right.
All right, guys.
Ready?
Cheers.
1, 2,
Cheers.
3. Salud.
Cheers.
Salud.
Salud.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a nice... I know we haven't had a shot in a while in the episode. That's why we had to go for it, man. Honestly,
Yeah, for sure.
it's been a while.
All right.
Thank you, Jessica, for joining.
Thank you guys for having me.
Just for the shot.
Yeah, and just to shout her plug her Instagram, it's Garcia_J. So GARCIAA_J.
Let's go.
So that's my sister. Go follow her.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for being here. Even just for a few seconds.
More
All right,
here
get
for
out.
alcohol.
Get out. Turn the light off, please. All right. And now back to our regularly scheduled show. So as always, besides that shot, Leche, well, what type of shot did you take, and what are you going to continue sipping on this show?
I will not continue taking it because it's a little sweet. I took the sweet shot of Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey, my favorite whiskey to drink, honestly. It's a little too sweet, don't get me wrong. It's like one of those things like you take one or two, a couple, you don't, down the hatch like you would do like tequila and shit like that. What about you?
Well, I took a shot of Casamigos tequila, reposado, and my older sister just took a regular shot of Tito's vodka.
Let's go.
Yeah. But obviously, like you said, that's not something I'm going to continuously be doing throughout the show, because then I will be slurring my words by the end of this.
Yeah. Definitely.
So I'm just going to be sipping on some wine, some Pinot Grigio this week.
Dude, man, I wish I had like a beer or wine on me, dude. I'm going to be lame as fuck and just drink coffee.
No, you're fine. Well, I mean, you're technically still working as we're recording this, so you need to keep a clear head. That shot was just to wake you back up again. Put some hair on that chest.
Yeah, literally. Put some hair on that chest while I keep grinding out.
Yes. And before we go on as well, I also want to apologize for last week's episode. It wasn't brought to my attention until after it was posted and after we recorded that my side of the chat was very laggy and jumpy. And hopefully, if everything works well, this episode is back to normal. Yeah,
no, definitely. You haven't had any issues that I've seen. That we've been on the call for a couple of minutes now.
Yeah.
So I think you figured out the issue, honestly. It could have been just like an update on your end or something like that.
It probably was. I also probably had a whole bunch of stuff open or plugged into my computer. So I unplugged a couple of things I know I could survive without for right now. So hopefully that solved the issues. This is why we go back to the joke of our original name for this podcast was Technical Issues.
Yeah, literally.
Because there is always something happening.
Always, every episode. Something new arises, honestly.
100%. But yes, and also along with all of that, a wide variety of topics that we have for this episode.
Yeah, dude. Some really good shit coming.
Really good shit. It literally, from what we're going to talk about, it's about 4 topics. Setting that out right now, besides the side roads that we always take.
Yeah, we literally, I think there's 1 or 2 like that we get sidetracked really easily with off a tangent.
But even still then, these 4 topics are probably going to take a majority of this episode. So I'm super excited for this week.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, to start it off, let's get into the 20th anniversary for Kingdom Hearts and the announcement for Kingdom Hearts 4 and a whole bunch of other mini side Kingdom Hearts stuff that's just popping everywhere right now.
Dude, it is hype, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. People have been waiting for years, bro, for Kingdom Hearts 4. I think Kingdom Hearts 3, if I remember correctly, came out like in 2012, bro.
Yeah, it's been over a decade.
Yeah, so it's kind of nuts, bro. The one person that I know that's gonna be super hyped about this is Andre, our boy Andre. He's a huge Kingdom Hearts fan.
Yeah, he said he's played all of them and replayed all of them a couple of times already as well. So,
I mean, they are a freaking nice game to watch. I wouldn't play it personally. Like,
no,
I don't see myself playing it, but to watch other people play it, it is fucking fantastic. It's phenomenal.
Not even that. It takes the whole realm of Disneyland, of Disney that we know so much, like these characters and all these storylines, and it puts them in a much different perspective we're used to of.
Exactly. Which is dope, dude. It's like a mix of, I mean, technically it is by definition, like, you know, by the makers and stuff. It's literally Disney meets fucking, what is it called? Final Fantasy.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's like, oh, it's a beautiful game, honestly, dude. It's like a wonderful game.
It is. So besides regular Kingdom Hearts 4, I believe it is a mobile type of game that they're also doing that's supposed to add on to the story and connect a lot of what's finishing up the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird seeing like an actual console game for this final aspect that everybody's been waiting on to wrap up the story. It's going to be a mobile game instead.
Yeah, it puts a sour taste on some people. I know people had complaints about that a little bit.
Yeah,
like they're like, oh, it's upset, but I mean, it's content in the story.
It is.
You get me? It ties off loose ends, and then it's a segue into the fourth game. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you have to play it if you want to fully grasp what's happening. I'm pretty sure. I mean, true Kingdom Hearts fans are probably like, yo, fuck it, content is content, you know, like they're gonna eat it up.
Exactly.
You know? So,
and even so, then there was something about the mobile game that really just didn't catch my attention.
Yeah,
it really wasn't. I feel like it wasn't as clean as it could be. I do understand there are so many aspects to Kingdom Hearts. They probably couldn't shove all of that without turning your phone into a console by itself that you can't use it for anything else.
Yeah, bro. Seriously, honestly. Yeah.
Because it was very flat 2D-ish types of land that we're so used to seeing like in early 90s type of games, like the games we would be growing up with.
It feels like a PS2.
Almost, yeah. But still, the fact that they're taking that type of route and then into Kingdom Hearts 4 for the actual thing, and then that looks very updated from what we were seeing in the past few Kingdom Hearts as well. So that's also a nice refreshing take on the whole Kingdom Hearts storyline. And it looks really dope. It really does.
Yeah, dude. I mean, set aside that it's a mobile game for those two that are coming out. Yeah, and they still look pretty good.
Yeah,
but man, the graphics for that last trailer for the actual Kingdom Hearts 4, dude, that shit is like next level, dude.
Oh, 100%. That shadow beast that gets that spawns in the middle of the city.
Yeah.
It reminds me of what's the Rourke, I think, or the main demon from Death Note. Like just the silhouette version of it.
It does remind me of
the spiky hair, the wings.
I noticed that too. I was like, oh, dude, this looks familiar. Like, where's this from?
Yeah.
Maybe you're right. Not thinking about it and looking at it closely, it does look like it resembles it a lot.
Yeah. But like I said,
what other crossovers we get in this one too, dude. Because there's been a lot of Disney movies in between a fucking 10-year gap, you get me?
Mm-hmm.
There's been a shit ton of Disney movies within that span. So who knows what we're gonna get in between that.
Mm-hmm. We get the chicken from Moana, the crazy eyed chicken.
I mean, we're gonna get all those Disney princesses for sure.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about this is like,
that.
yes, the princesses are there, but they're not like the main aspect as we do see.
It's
like
usually
Donald,
the side characters,
Goofy, exactly.
Which is dope.
Yeah,
it's mostly about the villains, bro. Honestly,
it's all yeah.
It's always when it comes to the Kingdom Hearts games, dude. It's all about the villains, bro.
Yeah,
they're just so iconic, bro. Like they
really are. Like
so
if there's not one Disney villain that you are widely obsessed with, you're lying. There has to be one.
What makes a great Disney movie is a great villain that comes with it, bro.
100%.
Honestly, that's how it is. Honestly, if you think about it really well.
Because that was also the whole thing with, because it varies from time to time. Like, we know the dickhead from Beauty and the Beast, Ursula, who's like the octopus Kraken lady, Maleficent, oh my God, why can't I remember? Jafar, thank you, from Aladdin.
No, I knew that's where you were going. That's why I was like,
Scar. And then even so, like to the more recent ones, you got me where in like Frozen, you got me, it was Hans who was the evil guy, someone who they thought was a friend from the moment they met him. And it was like such a plot twist when you figured out he was actually trying to kill Elsa so he could take the throne or whatever.
Exactly.
Like it's done so well, like in every aspect of the way. And Disney in general, Disney Pixar do so well with their villains, even like just for animated things, but it's well done.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, looking forward to see what they do, man. I mean, that it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fucking good.
Yes.
Just how good, right? Because it's already, even just by glancing at it out of a scale of 1 to 10, it's already a 6. You know,
yes,
it's already meeting the bare minimum, above the bare minimum.
And again, with a 10-year gap from these games to the last game, they have a lot to cover for. So if there's no actual meat in the dish, so to speak, it's gonna fall very, very flat.
It's gonna fall flat real quick.
Yes. Because one thing is aesthetically how it looks. Another thing is dialogue, actual smoothness of the animations, even the fighting style. It's specific fighting style that they set up to be able to play with like Donald and Goofy as your sidekicks, and then other types of keyblades. And even in the other Kingdom Hearts, when you're able to travel from realm to realm, even how the animation of how the characters look like changes sometimes as well. So that's hopefully what's continued.
Oh yeah, dude. Which I think it might be, honestly. I mean, we'll see, man.
Yeah. Was there a set date for this? I don't think I saw a date.
No, I think they said it was like they're in the works. I think that's what they said.
It's on the works. Yeah.
Yeah. I know the other 2 mobile games are slated for this year. I think it's like late this year though, like holiday or like end of spring.
Hopefully.
Of 2022.
And if you're interested in seeing, it is a 7, almost 8-minute video on the IGN YouTube channel. IGN, where we always get these clips from a majority of the time. The whole 8-minute trailer or 8-minute video that they have up there is a cumulative of all these trailers that we are talking about. The 2 different mobile games, one that is a sideways, like you hold your phone sideways. The other one you seem to be able to hold it straight up. And then the Kingdom Hearts 4 that we keep speaking of.
Yep. I think they used the Unreal Engine 5 to make it, dude, because it looks like it.
It kind of does.
Yeah.
And definitely, even with the 10-year gap, seeing Sora looks more mature as well.
Yeah.
Like
looks like a grown up,
right?
Sora. Yeah.
Like teenager, besides the kid that he was in the beginning.
3 games.
Yes. So that's very refreshing. And I mean, moving on, this whole world of making video games into movies is definitely taking off right now, or even into shows. You get me? And it's always very hit or miss. Like me and Leche have always spoken about. Recently, they have gotten better. They have been getting slightly better than what we're used to.
Starting with like Mortal Kombat, for example, the remake for that one, the newer one, the one that's on HBO.
Yeah.
That one, I'm not saying it's fucking, a masterpiece, because none of those movies will be, honestly.
Yeah.
To people, at least.
Yeah.
But I think they did a pretty solid job, knowing they even detail, like, they're not going to go according to what the games are. They're taking their own path. So if you were in the mindset that they're going to follow every single thing from the video games, you were in the wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, you get that from the beginning when you find out that it's a whole new main character that we're talking about,
that's what I mean.
Not Liu Kang. So it's like an alternate universe type of thing. Yeah,
pretty much, honestly.
Yeah. But what we're talking about is not Mortal Kombat and another remake of the games. Instead, a very, very popular game that caught me by surprise when I saw this article. Yeah, well, not by surprise, but like...
Yeah, I was like, oh, shit, okay. Yeah, I see this working.
The bar is set really high for this one.
Yeah, I hope not too high.
We'll see. So Ghost of Tsushima is making a movie, and it just recently announced that Takashi Dasher is going to be one of the main writers for the show. Takashi is he's done a whole bunch of things. Some of his credits include the sci-fi romance Only, a Hulu exclusive called Still, and even an ESPN documentary, A Fighting Chance. So very wide range of stuff that he can do, which is very interesting to see.
It also says that he's taken his time writing the script because he wants to do it justice, which is nice to hear. You got me? Especially with a man, I don't want to say it like this, but like, he, from his descent, making a movie, making, probably part of the culture, he probably has a lot of influence and input and output and stuff like that. So it might actually be good for, an Asian writer making the game like this.
100%
work into a movie. You got me?
Which is what we like to see. We like to see people with this type of history working on these types of films to give it that more genuine touch.
Exactly.
You get me? Yeah. Not to go back to this film, which I always do, but like Encanto, another reason Encanto was so big and so good was because literally everybody in the cast is of some sort of Hispanic heritage descent or is 100% Hispanic born. So it adds more flavor to it, if you could say.
More pizzazz, more sazon.
More sazon.
Or you could go off a more realistic movie, like not just kid movies. You could go, an example would be Jordan Peele making Get Out pretty much as well.
Yes, 100%.
So a cast like that, and like culture like that, shock value and stuff like that, which is nice, making like, I don't want like a cast like how he chose specifically and stuff like that. His style of writing, I think it would do justice to a movie like this from getting written by a guy with the same culture pretty much.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It makes sense,
Yeah. But definitely these writers have made it very clear that not only, like Leche said, that they are taking the time so they could do it right, give it justice, but the whole film crew is working very closely with Sucker Punch, the game developers, to definitely make sure they give it that genuine Ghost of Tsushima feel to the film. Nice so it's always a good thing to see them actually work with the creators or creator of, like, even when they're working with making a movie adaptation of a book, You get me? That they're working closely with the author to make sure everything's done right and properly.
That's when you know it's gonna be a fucking good movie, bro. In my opinion, like I think that's how you know it's gonna be like legit. If they're literally working with the source that it's coming from.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, and like I said, like, yes, Ghost of Tsushima is mostly very human in its aspects, but there's another very supernatural aspect of it, especially when it comes to like the boss fights. I am expecting to see like a much bigger guy riding this giant mass of a horse and not just a normal guy on a horseback riding towards somebody. You got me?
They should, to make that work, in my opinion, I think that's an easy like cop out. Just get like a like the main actor to be short and just make, you know, like a fucking 6'8" dude ride a fucking massive horse. You got me? Make the main character 5'6", 5'7", and then make a massive ass fucking dude.
Pad him up and put the samurai suit on.
Straight up, dude. Literally. Dude.
But even still, like it would be interesting to see whoever it is with this armor, his blades, the bow on his back, and just like maneuvering around the world. You get me? Trying to.
I really hope they choose like the right actors too.
Yes, that's always the thing.
Like the cast better be like, you know, I'm not saying all Asian, but mostly Asian, because, you know, where this takes place, it kind of fucking makes sense. You get me?
Yes.
It doesn't have to be all Asians, but
but
you want to be true to its form.
Exactly. Or like even like just as long as like the main dialogue people are the ones in the proper role.
Exactly.
You get me? Because then background actors, you could cover their faces, you could put helmets on them, face scars, or only just their back showing to the camera. You get me? But
exactly. Yeah.
And I think they will. They're definitely in the right mindset of working with Soccer Punch and make sure they are, quote unquote, do it right. Which, like, you know, these guys are nerds at this point. Like, it's good seeing nerds work on nerd stuff.
Honestly, yeah, that's how it works, bro. I mean, going back to fucking Zack Snyder, bro, making the DC movie, making his cut of fucking Justice League, bro. I mean, look how fucking great that was.
Yeah.
This is a good example.
Massive difference from the original. But yes, and make sure it's being done right as well. Evil Dead the game. I know we mentioned this a few episodes back, months back.
This is a movie turning into a game.
Yes,
that's really reverse roles.
But there's still an aspect of doing it right. You get me?
Where the sources coming from?
Where the sources are coming from, because a good thing about the Evil Dead the game, it is going off of the movies, and it's also taking the show that I believe is on Netflix.
Yeah.
That the characters, so your main survivors, as always, kind of like Dead by Daylight, are some of the main characters of these films.
Yeah.
When they do like the adaptations, like for Dead by Daylight, when it was Halloween, it was his sister who was a survivor. In Stranger Things, you have the Demogorgon, and then you have Nancy and I forget his name as the survivors. Same thing, like even recently with Ringu, you had the main character from the actual movie as your survivor.
Yep.
So that's what they're doing here as well. And the good thing about it, like, even though it's not just the characters, I do believe a lot of the actors came in to do the voice lines for their characters in the game. So it's actual, genuinely the main actors doing the voiceovers.
Let's be real. If they're going to make anything with Bruce Campbell, it has to be Bruce Campbell to play himself. Like, there's no fucking way you can pay another actor to do that man justice with his voice, bro.
100%.
Like, come on, dude.
That's such
legend. Just like Morgan Freeman, bro. You can't fucking copy that man's voice.
Yeah. Oh, Jim Carrey. That's such distinguished voices, or distinct voices, that there's no way you could get anybody else to cover for them. But yes, Game Informer has also done exclusive interviews with somebody from the development team where they show off, it's 2 different videos where they show off gameplay, exclusive gameplay. And then Survivors wise, it's kind of like what we're used to, very similar to Dead by Daylight, but your survivors are very, very much more aggressive.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're super more aggressive. Like you're able to fucking fight back and shit.
You're able to fight back because the same way as, oh God, what's the game from?
It feels like a mix of For Honor and freaking Dead by Daylight, honestly.
Yes, but there's another, instead of For Honor, it reminds me, what's the zombie game that was from Raccoon City? They had a game.
Resident Evil?
There was another game. Yeah, no, sorry. No, it's not Resident. Well, it's a different Resident Evil because there's like the main guy who keeps summoning zombies as the survivors are trying to get through floors or whatever. Oh my God, why can't I
don't know what you're talking about. Is it a Resident Evil game? I don't remember.
Yes, it's like based off the Resident Evil game.
I don't remember, dude. Honestly.
I'm so mad I can't remember this. But either way, like if you know what I'm talking about, it's a Resident Evil like spin-off type of game where you have your 4 survivors trying to get through the building to like turn off whatever symptom where you're trying to escape from the building, right? And you have that one person that's constantly spawning in zombies to delay them or setting up traps to delay them. And that reminds me of this because as a survivor, you're collecting stuff, trying to find pages of the necro, you know the name of it.
Necrophilia.
No, not necrophilia. Don't Google that.
Don't Google that.
The necropsis. The necropsis. The book?
Yeah.
The necropsis, right?
No.
Whatever. Well, the book, it's something. Well, okay, whatever. It's been a while since I've watched any of this.
Necrochromica or something like that.
Yes, that thing. Yeah. So the main book that they use, you're running around finding pages to be able to summon the ultimate evil and destroy the ultimate evil, and that's how you win. And along the way, obviously, you have certain skills. Everybody kind of like in Friday the 13th, certain characters have certain skills, or you have your healers or your main DPS type of characters. And then as when you're playing in the demon form, you could set up traps. Like I said, one of the things is you have to inflict fear into the characters, obviously. So there's like a fear meter. And eventually, if the fear meter gets to a certain point, besides just summoning zombies and taking over the zombie to be able to fight as the zombie, if a character's fear meter is to a certain point, you could take over that character for a few seconds to fight their teammates, pretty much. If that makes sense.
That does make sense, yeah.
And again, it's just like so much that happens at times. Like you can summon hordes of zombies, the different amount of traps you can set. You can possess a car and try to hit people with them.
Yeah, I see that.
Which is crazy.
You do a tree as well. Like
a tree. Which is like the fact that there's that many aspects to being a killer type of thing is so cool. Besides just chasing them down and beating their ass.
It does sound like all that sounds overpowered, but you as a character, you can do so much as a survivor.
Yes.
You have a lot of abilities too.
Yes.
You have a lot of shit, which is nice.
And different skill trees that obviously you're not going to be able to fill them all up. So you have to be very conscious of what skills you're leveling up as you play. So the fact that you could change your gameplay completely like from game to game adds a whole other layer to this type of
like this game feels a lot more balanced than last week's episode, how we talked about the Dragon Ball Z thing.
Yes.
So this feels a lot more balanced because you actually can fucking fight back, unlike the other game, unless that Dragon Ball Z game. It literally looks like you as a survivor cannot fight back. Like no goddamn thing to save your life.
And here, that's all you pretty much are doing, because obviously, like, it's not a zombie game if you're not able to fight back. So there's always that. But yeah, and it's a very wide like maps that you play in, and obviously as the game progresses, it closes in on you. So you have to make sure wherever you're scavenging for these pages for the survivor side, it's a lot. And even still as the demon as well, when you spawn in, you don't know where these survivors are.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about it. It gives you time until you are found by the hunter to continue.
Yeah.
Like this one game brings in so many aspects of so many other of these 4v1 types of games. It's crazy.
I mean, it technically, like, I don't want to say like this, but it has leverage from like other lessons other games has done. So they know what works and what doesn't work in those type of games. You get me?
Yes.
So it has that going for it, which is the nice thing.
True. And I mean, for this last story, I kind of want to pass it on to you if you're cool with it. I know you're super excited about this. Yeah.
I mean, we should both be excited, you know. Hopefully,
well, I am, but I know you and your brother are very much more into this than.
Funny because we were talking about it this morning.
My point exactly.
Yeah, he was already going off, like, you know. So as of today, I think it literally comes out in like 2.5 weeks or so. I think literally 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness coming out in May. I think it's the first weekend in May. But yeah, we finally got one of the featurettes that came out explaining a little bit what's going on and stuff. I mean, dude, this, as he said it best, dude, like, this will be the game changer movie pretty much for this, like, phase 4 for sure, dude. It's gonna be freaking nuts, dude.
Yeah, the featurette, as always, is any sort of featurette that comes out is so good, because it just adds more to the anticipation of watching the movie or playing the game or whatever, watching the show.
Yeah.
And yeah, this definitely added to it. Like, I know I said you guys are like more excited than I am, which is true, but like my hype for this movie is still up there.
Yeah, it is fucking nuts, dude. This movie, I think, already hands down is gonna be phenomenal. But dude, it's just bro. It's it's gonna be nuts. 100%. There's gonna be so much going on in this movie. I know I already bought tickets. I know, Tito, you're in the works on buying your ticket.
Yes. And hopefully near you guys.
Yeah, literally, hopefully, dude. But yeah, this movie is definitely going to be one of those movies you have to try not to miss this movie, because this is going to be, like I said it earlier, it's going to be the movie that's going to decide how the rest of the MCU is going to go, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, which characters they're going to, like, give us and stuff like that. Like, which universe we're actually going to go into and stuff like that. If they're going to kill off any people, because it's dealing with the multiverse specifically, it could introduce a new universe entirely and stuff like that, and give us one solid unified universe, or whatever it's going to give us, man. Because at this point, I'm not sure who the main villain is, because I don't want to, like, spoil it for myself. Ezine already knows, and he doesn't want to tell me.
Oh no, yeah,
good. It's rumors, of course, rumors.
Yes,
Tom Cruise is supposed to come out in this movie.
Oh my God.
Tom Cruise.
Back to Tom Cruise. I've said my 2 cents on Tom Cruise at this point.
Yeah. It's funny. Supposedly he's going to come out as one of the alternate universes Iron Mans and stuff like that, supposedly.
Oh no. We're just adding more to this man's ego.
Supposedly as well, we're going to see introduction of like the X-Men supposedly, or Mr. Fantastic or something like that.
Ooh,
give us little teases and stuff like that. So
I know Andre definitely wants to see Dr. Doom eventually.
Dude.
Because Doom is like definitely one of the best villains.
He's supposed to be like one of the biggest bads.
Yeah.
Like the biggest villains that the MCU has, supposedly. Yeah. He's one of the biggest other than Thanos. Like he is literally the most. Yeah, he's one of the best villains.
One of the bigger bads there are, right behind Thanos. And yeah, there's definitely like a crap ton of assumptions that we could say, because we do see Wanda come back eventually, or he meets up with Wanda at some point. And we know she has her own backstory of what happened after, exactly, from the show, that everybody's still waiting on, because it could, if from her side alone, it could be a plethora of evil villains that come out of it.
Yeah, dude. She definitely has multiversal energy, coming off of her cosmic energy and shit.
Exactly. Even so, then from Strange himself, we see pretty much evil Strange, or dark Doctor Strange, whatever you want to call him. Dark Doctor Strange, which is a whole other thing, because if they are also going off of what we see in the What If series, he could get pretty bad. He's pretty strong as well. So if there's a battle between there, who wins? Is he able to blend in? And yeah, there's just a whole bunch of aspects that could go into this.
Yeah, dude, there's so many like options. Oh, dude, it's just like the not knowing part is like what drives people nuts to go and see this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie is probably be this year's either this movie or a Thor Love and Thunder are going to be the top movies this year for Marvel. Yeah. Like this is going to be the biggest thing for Marvel. Depending how well that like Thor Love and Thunder goes later this year when it comes out, depending on how that goes, this is probably going to be the biggest movie for the year for Marvel specifically. Yeah. It's going to be nuts, dude.
Hold on. I'm still
kind of hard. Yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. The game I was talking about earlier. I know I'm taking a step back, but it's been bothering me. I've been looking it up. That's why I've been partially quiet. It's called Resident Evil Resistance.
Oh, what the fuck? Yeah,
it's Resistance. I know Markiplier played it a whole bunch with his friends. So it reminds me of that, because it's like you're summoning the zombies. You could take over one and fight back. But yeah, sorry. I had to take a step back. It's been bothering me. This is what we do. But yes, like.
I forgot what I was saying.
I should have saved them for the end. I just couldn't. But yes, like, and this is like not just from the movies like that are gonna be to watch, that are gonna be like so hyped or whatever. Like you said, this is gonna set up so much more for the future of the whole Marvel. Yes, we already have a quote unquote timeline of what is supposed to come in this phase.
Yeah, this is gonna reshift everything. It's like
exactly
almost like a fucking reset button. Be like, bam, dude. Mm-hmm. Like you thought you knew it? Nope. Literally. This is gonna throw it off a tangent for sure.
And from what we've seen with so many of these timelines as well, like things get delayed. A bunch of this stuff gets moved around on what gets premiered earlier, what gets set behind. So seeing how the community acts to the Multiverse of Madness, it's definitely going to give Marvel a whole other view, or it's good. They're going to have to take a bigger picture a bigger look at the picture to see, do they stick with the plan they have now, or are things going to get moved around on how they premiere stuff? You got me? So
yeah,
there's, it's not just like the hype of this. There's going to be other aspects behind the scenes that we don't
the
fully
repercussions of what's happening now.
Exactly.
Not only for like movie and stuff like that, but like where Marvel's going to take this and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
If they're able to do more mature stuff, or they got to tone it back and like,
That's
like
true.
that. It depends, right?
Yeah, it depends, obviously. But even still then, like you said, more mature stuff, because we said they keep it very PG-13 most of the time, or like M for mature, but it's not like rated R type of stuff that we are still seeing sometimes in the DC animated movies and stuff. And even still then, like, another aspect adding to that, if it's going to be able to be more R-rated type of stuff, is the fact that even now with Disney Plus, like we mentioned before, that was also confirmed. I don't even know if we talked on it, that it was confirmed that Disney Plus is now doing rated R type of stuff.
Yeah, it was confirmed. Yeah.
So it adds to what type of things we're going to be able to see now from Disney. Now, obviously, like putting in the Netflix shows of Marvel into Disney Plus, but like what they can now pump out for future stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think they're setting up their shit like nicely right now.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Cool. We'll see, man.
I know.
We shall see.
We shall see. But besides that, do you have anything else, Leche?
From my end, no.
Yeah, I feel like a fairly good episode. we went our allotted time. But yeah, besides that, then where can people find you?
You can find me at Leche on Instagram, or you guys can follow me at TechnoFreak95 on Twitch. And what about you, Tito?
I am also on Instagram at OneAlphaPenguin. And then also on Twitch at twitch.tv/OneAlphaPenguin. Follow the podcast on Instagram at takeasip_pod. And even the YouTube channel where we post these episodes, youtube.com/takeasip. As always, the logos are the same between all the social medias. We have our own different logos ourselves for our stuff, but all of those links are in the description, bottom notes, whatever you follow and listen on. And as always, drink some water, go for a walk, take care of yourselves, and we will see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.